most effective way to break a person isn't to lock them in a dark room. It's to flood their senses with neon chaos. In the past, rulers used iron bars and heavy chains to keep the population in check. That was clumsy. It was inefficient. Today, we have evolved. We have found the Neon Guillotine. This is not a boring lesson on media. It is a breakdown of how modern statecraft has traded the whip for the screen. By using a relentless barrage of fragmented stimuli, we can bypass your logical defenses entirely. We do not need to force you to obey. We simply install subconscious compliance through an aesthetic blitz. The human mind was built for silence and reflection, but silence is dangerous to power. Therefore, we weaponize the digital world. We turn the individual into a reactive vessel, a hollow shell that trades its sovereign thought for the hypnotic comfort of total overwhelm. You think you are consuming information, but the information is consuming you. To understand this trap, you must accept a cold, brutal truth about human nature. People do not actually crave freedom. They do not want the heavy burden of choice. What they truly crave is the feeling of being filled. They want the noise. They want the light. They want the chaos to drown out the terrifying quiet of their own empty lives. And so, we give it to them. We give it to them until they are too full to think, too dazzled to see, and too fractured to ever be a threat again. The eye is the first part of the mind to surrender. In this modern landscape, we do not need to hide the truth behind heavy curtains. We simply make the curtains glow until you cannot look away. This is the Aesthetic Blitzkrieg. It is a calculated strike of high-contrast visuals and rapid-fire audio designed to do one thing: kill your ability to pause. Every flicker of light and every sharp cut in a video is a tiny needle piercing your focus. We bombard the optic nerve with a curated stream of fragmented data, ensuring that the brain is always one step behind the screen. There is no time to question what you are seeing because the next image has already arrived. This isn't entertainment. It is a systematic dismantling of your defenses. Think of the mind as a fortress. In the past, attackers had to scale the walls. Now, we simply flood the courtyard with so much light that the guards are blinded. You begin to see this neon-lit chaos not as an assault, but as an essential part of your world. You do not see the chains because they are made of vibrant colors and catchy sounds. By the time you feel the weight, it is too late. You have already invited the subversion into your pocket. You have traded the silence required for a defense for the hypnotic comfort of the screen. The brain, overwhelmed by the blitz, stops trying to lead and starts only to follow. You become a passenger in your own head, staring into the glow while your sovereignty is quietly dismantled behind your eyes. Silence is the only ground where a counterattack can be planned, and we have ensured you never find it. But you cannot wear a crown if your mind is weak. To understand how the trap closes, we must look at the cold mechanics of your own biology. Specifically, the dopamine loop. We have mapped the limits of your human hardware. We know exactly how much noise it takes to make the gears of logic grind to a halt. When you navigate this neon-lit chaos, you feel powerful. You think you are making choices. You think you are a hunter gathering data, but you are not a hunter. You are a circuit, closing every time we send a pulse of light through the screen. The brain is a primitive tool in a digital war. It was never designed for this much input. Therefore, the more information you consume, the less you actually know. Your mind cannot distinguish between a vital survival signal and a flashing advertisement when both trigger the same chemical reward. You are trapped in a cycle of pure neurological response. You are not deciding, you are reacting. Every scroll and every click is a programmed reflex. This is the architecture of the trap. Because your brain is busy processing the constant noise, it feels productive, it feels alive. It mistakes movement for progress. But while the gears are spinning at top speed, the center is being hollowed out. You are burning your mental fuel on shadows. We do not need to take your freedom by force. We simply overwhelm the processor until it crashes. By the time you look up from the glow, you are too exhausted to resist, too drained to even realize you are being led. This is how you control a population without ever firing a shot. You make them too tired to think. This is the exact moment most people ruin their own lives. You have been hollowed out by the noise, and now the internal structure finally collapses. In the void where your own voice used to live, there is only a static hum. Your internal monologue, the very thing that makes you a sovereign individual, begins to physically wither and die. It is replaced by the fragmented echoes of the last three things you saw on your screen. You are no longer thinking. You are simply replaying a broadcast you didn't choose to hear. This mental trap destroys the mind from the inside out. Without the ability to retreat into a quiet mind, you fall into a state of chronic paranoia and low-level stress. You are always waiting for the next alert, the next flash of light, the next artificial crisis. Your brain is no longer a tool for strategy. It is a panic room with no door. Because you cannot find a single moment of quiet, you lose the capacity to plan for the future. You cannot build a legacy if you cannot look past the next 10 seconds of flickering light. You are now trapped in a permanent now. It is a shallow, frantic existence where you are always catching up and never moving ahead. This is the invisible prison of the modern age. It has no iron bars, only a constant stream of stimuli that keep you from realizing how small your world has become. You have lost the silence required to even notice you are a captive. In the permanent now, you are a ghost in your own life, haunting a screen while your actual potential is stolen in broad daylight. You feel busy, but you are merely vibrating in place. When you lose the center of your mind, you stop being a person and start being a target. This is the stage where you become a purely reactive vessel. You no longer act, you are only acted upon. You do not walk through the world. The world simply pushes you through it. You have become like a piece of glass that only reflects the light someone else shines on it. In this state of total sensory overload, your brain makes two fatal mistakes that strip away your power. First, your focus dies. You try to look at everything, so you see nothing at all. You cannot hold a single thought long enough to sharpen it into a weapon or a plan. You are busy, yes, but you are busy chasing digital shadows that disappear the moment you reach for them. Second, your emotions become volatile and cheap. Because your nervous system is constantly on fire, every small bit of noise feels like a life or death crisis. You are always angry or always afraid, but you never truly know why. You are reacting to ghosts we have put in front of you to keep your blood boiling. From the perspective of a ruler, this is the perfect outcome. A person who cannot focus is a person who cannot rebel. You are no longer a threat because you have no center. You have no gravity. You are merely a mirror, reflecting whatever chaos we choose to project onto your screen. You have traded your sovereignty for the hypnotic comfort of the algorithm. You have become a tool in a game you don't even know you're playing. You think you are free, but you are just waiting for the next pulse of light to tell you how to feel. The lesson here is cold and absolute. The only way to rule others is to first rule the noise inside your own head. While the masses drown in the neon light, the powerful man sits in the dark. You have seen how easy it is to shatter the human intellect through simple sensory saturation. You have watched the mind become a reactive vessel, a hollow shell begging to be told what to feel next. But here is the chilling truth about the people around you. Most of them would rather be controlled than be quiet. They do not hate the chaos. They love it. They fear the silence because, in the silence, the screens are off and the voices are gone. In the silence, they would finally have to face themselves. They would have to look at their own empty hands and their own unformed thoughts. That is a terror most men cannot survive. So they run back to the glow. They invite the noise. They beg for the chains of the algorithm because it spares them from the burden of existing as a real person. Do not be one of them. The signal is a poison meant for the weak. Turn it off. Every moment of quiet you reclaim is a brick in the wall of your own empire. Every second you spend in reflection is a weapon your enemies cannot see and cannot defend against. Reclaim your attention. If you do not master your own mind, you are simply preparing yourself to be governed by someone who has mastered theirs. There is no middle ground. You are either the one holding the light or the one blinded by it. The throne is reserved for those who can stand perfectly still while the world is spinning out of control.